Ladies and gentlemen, it is happening. Big news. Let me change my mic right here. Big news coming out of the world of politics is Trump just finally confirmed and gave a position to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Dr. Fauci is scared for his life right now, as we know. For some of you guys may not know the history between Dr. Fauci and RFK Jr. RFK Jr. wrote a book about Anthony Fauci. And ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Donald Trump has given him the position of Health Human Services. This was the Health Human Services that we had. This was the director of HHS. Now we have this guy running HHS. And ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats are panicking big time because he is an ex-Democrat. This is the big news coming out of politics today. We got to read exactly. By the way, this Trump made this announcement, and it is going extremely viral. I mean, right now, like, Democrats are they're panicking about this. He says, by the way, smash the like button. Somebody says, so gross. That was the health director right there. Didn't you guys see that? I'm going to show you. So somebody said RFK Jr., the conspiracy theorist. Oh boy, we got some people not excited about this. We got some people excited about this. Okay, cool. I love it. All right. So President Trump says, I am thrilled to announce RFK Jr. as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. He says, for too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. The safety and health of all Americans is the most important role in any administration. The HHS will play a big role in helping ensure that everybody will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products. So Donald Trump just announced he's going to war with Big Pharma, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is announcing that he's going to war with Big Pharma. That's just going on. Anybody a fan of Big Pharma? Anybody know what the pharmaceutical products are like? And food additives that have contributed to the overwhelming health crisis in this country. Mr. Kennedy will restore these agencies to the traditions of gold standard scientific research and beacons of transparency to end the chronic disease epidemic and make America great and healthy again. Maha! So Donald Trump officially announces RFK Jr. and boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He kept his promise. You know, RFK Jr. being an ex-Democrat, he was running against President Trump at some point in this race, and he gave him a candidate. He gave an ex-candidate a position, so he kept his promise by him endorsing Trump. Take a listen to this.
I started working on this issue 19 years ago. And for 19 years, I have got every morning, without one exception, I have said a prayer to God to put me in a position where I could end the chronic disease epidemic.
He says he prayed for 19 years that God can put him in a position where he can end the chronic disease happening in the United States of America. So we go from this, right? Because I know Democrats are like judging Trump's presidential picks, but this is the person, you know, this is what we're going from this to this, right? That's what's happening. All right, here's some more from RFK Jr. If you don't know what's going on, smash the like button. Here we go.
Every commitment that the president made to me, he has kept. I'm now on the transition team. We're actively picking the people who will govern the country in this aspect of government. Every commitment.
Can I ask you something? If you're not happy with this pick, please let me know. And another question I have for you guys: why are Democrats not happy with RFK Jr. being the pick?
Allowing this to happen to our children. These are the most precious assets that we have in this country. How can we let this happen to them? About 18% of American teens now have fatty liver disease. That's like 1 out of every 5. That disease, when I was a kid, only affected late-stage alcoholics who were elderly. Cancer rates are skyrocketing in the young and the old. Young adult cancers are up 79%. 1 in 4 American women is on antidepressant medication. 40% of teens have a mental health diagnosis. And 15% of high schoolers are on Adderall, and 500,000 children on SSRIs. So what's causing this suffering? I'll name 2 culprits. First, and the worst, is ultra-processed food. About 70% of American children's diet is ultra-processed. That means industrial manufactured in a factory. These foods consist primarily of processed sugar, ultra-processed grains, and seed oils. Laboratory scientists who many of whom formerly worked for the cigarette industry, which purchased all the big food companies in the 1970s and 80s, deployed thousands of scientists to figure out new chemicals to make the food more addictive. And these ingredients didn't exist 100 years ago. Humans aren't biologically adapted to eat them. Hundreds of these chemicals are now banned in Europe, but ubiquitous in American processed foods. The second culprit is toxic chemicals in our food, our medicine, in our environment. Pesticides, food additives, pharmaceutical drugs, and toxic waste permeate every cell of our bodies. The assault on our children's cells and hormones is unrelenting. To name just one problem, many of these chemicals increase estrogen because young children are ingesting so many of these hormone disruptors. America's puberty rate is now occurring at age 10 to 13, which is 6 years earlier than girls were reaching puberty in 1900. Our country has the earliest puberty rates of any continent on the earth. And no, this isn't because of better nutrition. This is not normal. Breast cancer is also estrogen driven, and it now strikes 1 in 8 women. We are mass poisoning all of our children and our adults.
The war with Big Pharma just got started, and this is about to be very interesting because this is a position that a lot of people were advocating that Trump not give RFK Jr. Even some Republicans, there's rumors right now that Republicans are going to try their best to not approve of this, along with Democrats, because of the money, right?
All right, the last time a Kennedy has served in a presidential cabinet was Robert F. Kennedy Sr. when he was the Attorney General for his brother, John F. Kennedy. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, his son, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is going to be serving in a cabinet position, but for a Republican president, Donald Trump. The Trump campaign.
Yeah, this is so legendary, dude. This is so legendary, bro. We have a Kennedy. We have a Kennedy in office now. We have a Kennedy. Like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in Trump's cabinet. It hasn't hit me yet. This is like, bro, this is crazy. I'm getting the chills just even thinking about the fact that Donald Trump kept his promise. Well, I knew he was going to keep his promise, but he finally made it official. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is unbelievable.
In making it official that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will be his next Health and Human Services Secretary. Aisha Hosni has the latest right now from West Palm Beach, Florida. Aisha.
We said it might happen in your hour. We were waiting for it, and here it is. It's like they were watching us. So Don Jr. actually tweeted it out first, and then shortly after, his father tweeted it as well. And the president-elect saying this about RFK Jr., that Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who've engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. And he believes that Kennedy will be able to wrangle all of these different agencies and get them back to the gold standard. So here's another pick that isn't as surprising as some of the other ones. the name had been floated for a while, and we knew that on the campaign trail, the former president had talked about giving him a health-related role. So this was definitely something that was not a huge surprise. I will say I'm hearing from some Hill sources now, Neil. They're telling me that this is going to be another one that might have some problems with confirmation. But at this point, they actually think that the Matt Gaetz situation is a little bit more troubling for some senators.
Yeah, so as you can hear there, Congress is getting ready to block Matt Gaetz from becoming Attorney General. Now, there's many ways around this from Trump. If he wants, he can just recess it, which is a lot of people are thinking. He's going to let it go to a vote. If he doesn't get voted in or approved by Congress, what Trump is going to do is recess appointees, which he's going to recess the whole Congress from voting. Then he's going to give them another date from when they could come back and vote for it. Meanwhile, while they come back to vote for it, Trump can use these recess appointees. So we really shouldn't have to go through that, because if you're in Congress and you're a Republican, you should be approving of everything. You know, this guy literally has the biggest mandate. People, we want to let Trump lead. That's what we voted for. We want Trump's people. We already knew these people were going to be elected. We don't got time for rhinos to be disapproving of a person that literally campaigned, almost got shot, and did all of this. We got to give them a chance. We got to give these people a chance. And if you don't give them a chance, then what the hell was the point of Americans voting in the first place? So, you know, you can say no, but recess is probably going to be what's going to happen here.
Senators, and it doesn't even compare to RFK Jr. I will add that Trump may have done a favor to some of these Republican senators who might be iffy on RFK Jr. because they all just left for the weekend. So they don't have to face the camera right now and answer any questions about RFK Jr. But here we go. Another big name that just came out. Caroline Leavitt sort of previewed it, said that we might be seeing some more names this afternoon. And this is the big one of the day. Neil?
Yeah. So another word I'm hearing out there is primary them. Trending right now. Primary the people and the rhinos that disapprove of Trump picks, of Trump cabinet picks. You just basically you swamp them, right? You primary them. You basically use your followers and your audiences to go after. Oh man, look at this. Big news right now. Big pharma stocks, Johnson & Johnson. Look, they're dropping. They are dropping. Pharmaceutical stocks are dropping right now. Oh boy. What do you guys think about this? Eli and Lilly and Company dropping -$25. Johnson & Johnson dropping. What else? AstraZeneca dropping. PLC. They're all dropping right now. Pfizer down 2.62% at 4 p.m. as the market was closing. So as the market is closing, these stocks are beginning to drop, which means people, whoever, somebody's getting rich off selling. That's a big drop. Yeah, it's a big drop. Well, it's a big drop really for the $25 change right here for Eli and Company. That Eli Lilly and Company, that's a huge drop at 4 p.m. Eastern time, around the time that Trump announced. So yeah, stocks are beginning to drop for Big Pharma. So, hey, make America healthy again. That's big. Here's another video I want to play for you guys. Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. Yo, this is one of the craziest cabinets I've ever seen put together. I mean, who could imagine this? DOGE, shocking the world right now. Take a look at this.
Tackling this kind of waste, fraud, abuse, bureaucratic bloat, we're going for the stuff that's basic common sense that most Americans actually agree on. And I hope we're going to actually be able to help unite the country by eliminating waste, which is something that all Americans, regardless of partisan affiliation, can get behind. And that's how Elon and I are thinking about it.
Well, that was Vivek Ramaswamy touting the new Department of Government Efficiency that he and Elon Musk will be running. Now, also known as DOGE, this temporary agency will partner with the White House and Office of Management and Budget to drive structural government change from outside the government. Now, they put out their first messaging on X yesterday, writing this: working overtime to ensure your tax dollars will be spent wisely. So what have we been spending some of our federal funds on? Let's review. Almost $550,000 went to a Russian lab to run experiments on cats' brains. That was spent by the National Institutes of Health. $3.7 million of funding went to a study on monkeys and gambling, another NIH fascinating project, and the State Department awarding tens of thousands of dollars for drag shows in Ecuador. And that's just the tip of the wasteful spending iceberg. Here's Senator
What the hell? I didn't even know that.
James Langford rattling off just a few government spending projects at a House hearing last year. Watch.
Last year, the State Department did a grant to Ecuador to host 12 drag shows in Ecuador with American tax dollars. Now, may have different opinions in this room on drag shows. I'm just asking the simple question: is the best use of American tax dollars to actually fund drag shows in Ecuador with U.S. tax dollars? National Science Foundation last year did a study of butterflies in Europe. So we funded with American taxpayer dollars. Last year, there was also a NEA grant that was done to set up a display in Brooklyn for the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which, by the way, is not even an American band. We had an almost, $350,000 grant to study smart toilets. Was one of the grants that we actually paid for with our federal tax dollars last year. We also had a grant that was done studying colonial Mexican soundscapes. We, last year, did a study on helmets and seatbelts in Ghana to be able to study whether seatbelts and helmets were effective for saving lives in Ghana. Can I just go ahead and answer that question for free? Seatbelts and helmets are a good idea. They save lives. Free.
Haley, the American people had no idea about this, and how would they when the administration?
You know what I mean? Look, one of the biggest things about this is the fact that I'm not gonna lie to you. I always wanted to know what it was that our government is spending their dollars on, but when it does come out, it is kind of crazy. That's why I said this. We got to pay attention as citizens. It's going to be a lot of people that are against Elon Musk, that are against Trump. They're going to be the ones that turn on the government even more, because you got to understand, if you're going against Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy for running a government efficiency program, then who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for the government? How many people do you know that have become government shills all of a sudden because they hate Donald Trump so much that they're now defending what our government is spending the money on, because they don't want to see people like Vivek and Elon running a government program that is basically making sure our tax dollars are not being wasted. But a lot of people, they've taken that road. They've gone crazy off the fact that, hey, great, the government is doing, you know what I mean. So the market closed about an hour ago. By the way, I have another update. Oh my God. Moderna got cooked today, down 5.62%. Anybody that shorted these stocks is extremely smart. Pfizer cooked. Pfizer down 2.62, and this is after the market closed. So we'll see what tomorrow looks like. GSK down 2% as well. So the market is very red on Pfizer and Moderna right now. And these are some of the biggest donors to CNN. I don't know if you guys know, but I think, don't quote me on this. I mean, you can search it up yourself, but I remember reading something about Anderson Cooper receiving like $14 million from Pfizer at some point. So Pfizer, Moderna, those big commercials, yeah, stock is going down, plummeting. Here's Donald Trump speaking of RFK Jr. on Joe Rogan. Take a listen.
Do you have anyone that is pressuring you to not work with him? Have there been people that are reaching RFK Jr.?
Yes.
Yes, I would imagine, because financially he could put a dent.
I would say that, and I think in many ways they've done a good job. In many ways they've done a bad job. But I would say that the big pharma wasn't thrilled when they heard that, I have a relation. I've actually always gotten along very well with him. I've known him a long time.
Do you have anyone that is pressuring you to not work with him?
Oh, we know where the pressure is coming from. Shout out to Trump for not folding. This is another big Trump victory right here. Shout out to Trump for not folding. Many people say that Trump is this, Trump is that. Whatever the hell you think Trump is, he didn't fold to Big Pharma's pressure, because I'm pretty sure the pressure to not give, you know, I mean, look, we're talking about billions of dollars being lost right now because Trump appointed somebody. This is what we're talking about, guys. You know, this is the bunny. This is where things get tricky. You want to know why people disappear? You want to know why people all of a sudden unalive themselves? You want to know why people all of a sudden, you know, die? Because stuff like this. I mean, this is just the truth. I'm not even trying to, like, you know, be somebody. Like, I'm just telling you, this is the type of stuff that makes you disappear, right? When you start talking about stuff like this. So yeah, this is what's going on in the world of politics today. Now, more panic about Attorney General pick. Here's CNN panicking about Matt Gaetz.
I want to start with Matt Gaetz, who is potentially on track here to lead the agency that includes the FBI, where you spent so much of your professional life. What are the implications of having Matt Gaetz as Attorney General?
Good morning, Casey. There's so many things that kind of jump out to you when you hear that the prospect of that nomination. But I think the first thing that really impresses me is what it says about Donald Trump's intention for the Justice Department and the FBI. Now, Matt Gaetz is obviously wholly unqualified for this job. He's someone who, I mean, quite frankly, couldn't get hired by the FBI if he was, had he ever been interested in that, which I'm sure he never was. Probably couldn't qualify for a clearance. Matt Gaetz has, by his own statement, some of those you just played, no interest in the FBI or the Department of Justice, no respect for the work that they do or for the people that do that work. He is singularly a disruptor. He is someone who's been selected because of his interest and desire to go into the organization and tear things apart, you know, likely get rid of people, stop doing a lot of the work that the Justice Department is currently doing. And that is
that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? How do you guys feel? Is he advertising for Matt Gaetz here? Is he running a campaign for us to support? I mean, it sounds like he's trying to convince us that this is a great idea. It sounds like he's trying to convince America that this is a great idea, by the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, liberals losing their minds over RFK Jr. Big stuff happening right now. More announcements to come. Yeah, this one is a big one because the market is reacting in a very fascinating fashion here after market hours. The market is red on Big Pharma. So, boy, oh boy, oh boy, we have to. Are you guys ready to make America healthy again? Are you guys ready for this presidency? I am ready for Inauguration Day, if I'm being honest. Trump has kept his word, and only thing I can say is amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, actually, let's shall we read some Democrat comments real quick? Oh, never mind. A lot of Democrats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash the like button. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.